told now.
Hello, Brave Nation, and welcome into this week's UNCP Game of the Week. John Gross here in studio as we get you set for UNCP versus Flagler. This week is women's basketball. This game was an absolute thriller. The second meeting of the season between these two squads. UNCP dropped the first one down in Florida, but they were looking to respond against the Saints at Lumbee Guarantee Bank Court. We'll have some special guests joining us throughout tonight's broadcast, but without further ado, let's roll the tape. Here is UNC Pembroke versus Flagler women's basketball on the UNCP Sports Network.
Tonight, basketball will be played, but there's so much more at stake tonight. It's a night to honor, it's a night to remember, and it's a night to continue the fight against breast cancer. It's the annual Think Pink game here at UNC Pembroke as the UNCP Braves take on the Flagler Saints. Good evening, thanks for joining us here on the UNCP Sports Network. Alongside Isaiah Diaz, I'm John Gross, and Isaiah, let's talk a little bit about this matchup. Your two teams playing each other for the second time this season. UNCP, though, they're coming off of a tough loss against Clayton State, where Clayton State jumped out to a 16-point run in the second half. Kind of a common trend for the Braves this year.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be able to switch things up, but you're right, it was a common trend starting the second half of last game against Clayton State on a 16-0 deficit. It's not something you want to see.
Well, let's jump into today's player to watch. Two very experienced players, starting off with Flagler, Kira Cranen for UNCP, Mel Horn, both of whom have kind of been leading the way in their respects for their respective sides.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Melanie Horn, as we all know, is a good playmaker. She's able to get hot if you let her. As for Crane, she's a playmaker as well, so it'll be interesting to see how the UNCP defense handles her.
All right, we will take a quick break here on the UNCP Sports Network. When we get back, starting lineups and tip-off. This is Braves women's basketball right here on the UNCP Sports Network.
A nurse at Scotland Health is
a healer, touching patients' lives at every turn.
An ally, working as a trusted teammate with the best doctors. A blower of bubbles, part child whisperer, part kid at heart.
A winner, recognizing excellence through Daisy Awards.
And of course, a caring friend. Scotland Health nurses are many things to many people. But to us, they're simply better by far.
When a hospital invests in technology, skilled hands and keen eyes have new tools for diagnosing disease and making people better. At Scotland, we were the first in the region to provide 3D mammograms and robotic joint surgery, and the only hospital in the region to collaborate with Duke Health to offer both radiation and medical oncology for cancer patients. At Scotland, we invest in the newest technology for one simple reason: to deliver you closer care that's better by far.
Back here at the English E. Jones Center, it's the Think Pink night for UNCP men's and women's basketball teams. John Gross, Isaiah Diaz here on the call. Happy to have you with us on this Wednesday evening. Starting lineups between UNCP and Flagler, starting off with the visitors. Ivana Boyd, Scout Frame, Kira Crane, Jazzy Mathis, and Raven Wade, the starting five for the Saints. And for the Braves, it's Courtney Smith, Shania Lester, Elsenia Purnell, Mel Horn, and Aaliyah Farmer. We are underway. This is the second matchup this season between these two programs. Flagler took the first, 66-58, and right out of the gate, a clock issue. UNCP 9-11 of the season, 4-8 in conference play. Winners of three of their last five. They're playing better basketball. We talked about it in the open. It's just been that one bad quarter for them during so many of these close losses.
Yeah, they got to make sure that they play to the best of their ability in all four quarters, making sure that they don't let the game get ahead of them.
So 3 seconds shaved off the game clock, and we're back to the action. It's Boyd picks up her dribble, works outside to Mathis. Frame looks to go to work on Melanie Horn, our player to watch for UNCP in the pregame. Mathis straight away, offline, and a rebound to Aaliyah Farmer. UNCP wearing alternate jerseys for this Think Pink matchup. I'm certainly a fan of these.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I want to pair my own, honestly.
I'm with you on that, Isaiah. There's Elsenia Purnell, the freshman who has stepped up in a big way this year for the Braves. Make to shoot. Another freshman, Courtney Smith. Purnell off the screen. Has to get a shot up. And a shot clock violation right out of the gates here for UNCP.
Not how you want to start your first offensive go. They're trying to make something work, but they just couldn't find an opportunity to make anything happen.
Boyd up top for Kira Crane, and Crane lets it fly. So first two possessions, we've seen a couple of three-point attempts from Flagler, which is uncharacteristic of them. They attempt the second fewest threes per game at just 4.6 attempts per outing. And some early shot attempts from beyond the arc, as Farmer gets it to the low block and puts UNCP on the board. Mathis, transition jumper offline, and Shania Lester snatches up the board for the Braves. Attacking, Purnell off kilter, and the rebound to Boyd. Boyd coming off of a scoreless performance against Georgia College. A game that Flagler won for their third conference win of this season, as it's worked around and fired up by Kira Crane. So another three-point attempt. The Braves doing a nice job forcing Flagler to play beyond the perimeter.
Yeah, it's clear to see that they're making sure that they're not getting the easy 2 points inside, but trying to attempt to get the 3 points outside.
And Aaliyah Farmer called for a travel. The Braves had one of their best offensive halves of the season against Flagler. They put up 35 points in the first half against the Saints, up by 5 at halftime. But the second half was a completely different story. And, well, that right there, a microcosm of what happened to that second half of the game, as an early trip to the line for Nehemiah Pierce. It was a combination of turnovers for the Braves, but as we're seeing right here, a lot of free throw attempts. 33 free throws attempted by Flagler in their 8-point win against the Braves. They made 22 of them.
It's a lot of easy points that you're giving the opposition. You have to make sure that you're not just handing out these free throw opportunities.
For comparison, UNCP was just 6 of 7 for the Stripes, so that's minus 16 to the free throw line in an 8-point ball game. And another turnover. The other way goes Pierce. And she is fouled from behind by Aaliyah Farmer. She'll head back to the stripe to shoot 2 more.
Good eyes by her. Good awareness to see where the pass was going. UNCP has to make sure that they're not being too careless with their passes.
29 turnovers for UNC Pembroke in the first meeting between these two programs. That resulted in 31 points off of turnovers. So if you're losing the turnover battle and you're losing the free throw battle, you're not going to win many games.
No, you're not. It's just basic science at that point.
That time Pierce hits both. Pierce attempted 10 free throws against the Braves, so about a third of all the free throws that Flagler attempted against UNCP came courtesy of Nehemiah Pierce. Entry feed intercepted by Boyd. A very athletic Flagler roster, according to Coach John Haskins, as Boyd saves it off the ricochet. Pull up, Mathis buries it. Jazzy Mathis averaging just over 11 points per game in her last 3 outings. Really settled in her senior season here. Lester lets it fly from the corner. And the rebound brought in by Jazzy Mathis. Mathis crossover into a jumper. Nearly followed her own shot, but the rebound tip to Horn. 3-on-2 for the Braves. Here's Smith. Penetration and the lay-in.
Good fast break scorer right there. They need those. They need those kind of opportunities.
UNCP coming off of that loss against Clayton State. These two teams separated by a game of the Peach Belt Conference standings. As whistles blow, and it's a held ball possession hour to the Braves. So good defense by Deja McCain as Pierce went to work.
Yeah, very well done. Making sure you kept that hand on the ball, staying strong even though she was trying to attack the rim. Now you have the ball for your teammates.
That Flagler win against Georgia College snapped a 6-game losing streak. Again, these two teams neck and neck in the conference standings, and it will have major implications come the end of this season. Figure who will qualify for the conference tournament. And could be vying for one of the last few stops. Williams fresh off the bench, kick out to Lester. Her second three-point attempt is a little bit short. Loose ball. Will stay with the Braves.
Good hustle by the Braves right there, making sure that they don't give the ball to the opposition. Now they have the ball for themselves.
This is the 22nd all-time meeting between UNCP and Flagler. The Saints lead the series record 11-10. Good cross-court feed. Tiara Williams from beyond the arc. And the Braves back in front by 2. Shoot the ball a little bit better from distance. Now at 24% from beyond the arc entering today's game as Scout Frame left uncontested, and she clanks it. Rebound to Lester. Williams. Worked around inside to Deja McCain. Double come. She splits it. McCain off to the right. And Mathis has the rebound. Deja had a really good game, one of her best games as a Brave against Flagler. 10 points, 9 rebounds against the Saints back in January. Crane drive and kick. Crane back to Crane. Off front iron. And it'll be Braves ball. And we'll have a timeout here. 4:14 to go in the first quarter. UNC Pembroke, a 2-point lead in what's been a low-scoring battle. Back after this break right here on the UNCP Sports Network.
It's officially the holidays, and you've got a house full of unstable football fans who won't take hungry for an answer. So drop a big bow box on your pigskin powwow, because whether you need an 8, 12, or 20 piece with biscuits, fixins, and tea, nothing helps swallow tears of defeat like swallowing a bunch of fried chicken first. Now when it comes to defending your lucky recliner, that's all you. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Back here at the English E. Jones Center, UNCP has built an early 2-point lead. What's been a low-scoring battle. The Braves 3-7 from the field to Flagler's 1 for 8. And that most notable number, Flagler, they've already attempted 5 3-point field goals. They average less than that per game in terms of attempts.
It seems that that's part of their game plan for this game. I don't know what the coach decided to do for this team and for this game, but that seems to be what the plan is.
What a feed by Jill Ebron, who just checked into a Cutting Hill senior Purnell. That's senior to freshman. And Ebron, one of the senior leaders on this team. Yeah, back to what you were saying, game plan. Both teams trying to figure something out as the season's progressed. Inside move by Nemaya Pierce. And she's been the offense so far as 5 of Flagler's 7 points. Williams, drive and kick. Courtney Smith lets it go off the back iron. Rebounded by the long arms of the 5'11" Nemaya Pierce. Three-point attempt. Rattles out for Stacy Miller, who just checked in. Miller coming off of a career performance, 17 points against Georgia College. Williams, top of the key three, way off. Rebound for Boyd. "15-footer bounces home for Kira Crane. We talked about her in the pregame, 3rd team all-conference last year, and she creates all sorts of issues for opponents.
Oh yeah, if you're not locking down on her, she's gonna make things a nightmare for you for sure. We're seeing that here today.
Williams, penetration, kick out Ebron. She takes it to the hole, and she's hit on her way to the basket. She'll shoot 2. Ebron has posted 9 points in back-to-back games as Shania Lester comes back in for Tiara Williams, and Senior Purnell will head out for the first time today in favor of Anaya McManus. Ebron, an 89% free throw shooter. She hadn't attempted a free throw in her last 5 games, but she sinks the front end there.
Probably glad to be back where she's comfortable getting these points for her team.
And Jill hits them both. Also very good with the video camera and editing software. She's one of her interns here with UNCP Sports Network. Made the women's basketball team intro video. And Frame walked with it. Lester to a cutting McCain. Battles her way to the basket, left it short, rebound to Crane. Crane, good look to Pierce, backs her way to the basket, and she has 7 of Flagler's 11. Clearly the size of Nemaya Pierce presenting some issues for UNCP.
Yeah, you can tell that Flagler is exploiting that kind of weakness right now. But UNCP is not backing down.
Underneath again, Pierce had the ball and is called for a travel. She got caught up a bit with Courtney Smith. Another UNCP turnover. That is the 6th now. Pardon me, 5th of this first quarter for UNCP as Naomi Gilbert checks in for Courtney Smith. Think pink night here at the bank. First of 2 games. The women's side playing first, followed by the now nationally ranked men's team. Sitting at 23 in the polls as Ebron gets things going from distance. 5 early points off the bench for Jill Ebron, putting the Braves back in front. Frame inside to Pierce. Touch pass Boyd. Long 2 off iron. Rebound to Jill Ebron. 9-second difference between the shot and game clock as McManus finds a seam. Looking for Diamond Fendrick. Lester rattles it home. And a 5-point lead for the Braves.
Good job by the Braves exploiting this defense right now, just finding different weaknesses, keeping on attacking the paint relentlessly. Now they're getting these points.
2-3 zone look for UNCP as Frame bodies her way in, and it's an offensive foul. That's the first personal on Frame and the second of this first quarter. Braves will roll it in. As we wind down the clock here in the first quarter. McManus off to Ebron. Heaves it at the buzzer, and it's off the mark. But UNCP, a nice little run to close out that first quarter. 5 straight points heading into the buzzer as we head to the second quarter. And when we get back, we'll be joined by a very special guest right here on the UNCP Sports Network.
The town of Pembroke, incorporated in 1895, is a proud community rich in heritage. Pembroke is a quaint but growing town regarded as the social, political, cultural, and commercial center for the Lumbee tribe, the largest American Indian tribe east of the Mississippi River with over 58,000 members. The town hosts a variety of events during the year, none larger than Lumbee Homecoming, which annually brings in over 30,000 visitors. We welcome you to visit our unique town and encourage you to read and learn more about Pembroke.
A nurse at Scotland Health is
a healer, touching patients' lives at every turn.
An ally, working as a trusted teammate with the best doctors. A blower of bubbles, part child whisperer, part kid at heart.
A winner, recognizing excellence through Daisy Awards.
And of course, a caring friend. Scotland Health nurses are many things to many people. But to us, they're simply better by far.
Well, we'll have to push back our special guest a little bit later in today's broadcast, but still have Isaiah Diaz up here on the broadcast with us. And Isaiah, that was about as good of a way to end the first quarter as you can have if you're the Braves.
Yes, now they got to make sure that they keep that momentum going in the second quarter, making sure they don't make any silly mistakes. We'll see what happens.
Crane gets a shooter's touch in the opening possession of the second quarter. It's a 5-0 run to end the first quarter for the Braves. As Lester drives and kicks, and Naomi Gilbert, who can really shoot it from distance. And missed it short that time. Crane using the screen. Here's Frame. And Boyd walked with it. 5th turnover in the early goings here as Courtney Smith comes on and Naomi Gilbert checks off. Five turnovers apiece now. Lester, left of the lane, now floater inside, gets her own miss. Smith works her way to the basket, and Courtney Smith will shoot 2. Smith heads to the line. She started 7 of the last 8 games for the Braves. Only a freshman, but she is clearly developing into something special.
Oh, yeah, you can tell that she's definitely making a name for herself on this team. Hopefully she'll find more opportunities to continue to provide for her teammates.
And she hits the free throw. Now has 3 points. Her first career start came at that January game down in St. Augustine against Flagler. And she hits the pair. UNCP of perfect 4-4 from the stripe. Jill Ebron and now Courtney Smith hitting both of their respective free throw attempts. Double screen set for Crane, up to Frame. Inside Pierce, tries to back down Fedrick, this time with the left. Nine points for Nemaya Pierce, a perfect 3 of 3 from the field. And she's also hit 3 for 4 free throw attempts. McManus using the Fendrick screen out to Horn from distance. Clanked off the rim, tipped out by Lester, and the Braves have a second chance. McManus outside. Shania Lester. Jab step from Smith. Bodies her way in off the back iron. And how about a third chance for the Braves? Anaya McManus standing tall at 5 feet tall with the offensive board.
Good job by these offensive players right now, making sure they know where the ball is, getting these multiple opportunities.
Smith rattles out, this time a rebound to Crane. Outlet feed down the floor. Mathis with the left. Kissed off the glass, and we have a 1-point ball game. Horn has a seam, puts it up and in. Melanie Horn of the scorebook. I say, imagine it's only a matter of time before she really gets going today.
Oh yes, actually, good vision by her, getting the first 2 points of the night for her. Just seeing how open the paint was and just bodying everything.
Pierce hoists it, too strong, and it's secured by Shania Lester. Game plan, unsurprisingly for Flagler, is pound the rock inside in the second quarter. The first quarter, and we touched on it, not 6 3-point field goal attempts. And in the second quarter, they have not attempted a 3-point field goal. And going inside is what's kind of been their bread and butter for the season.
Yeah, just making sure that they stay aggressive, find these points inside.
And a late whistle of the Braves basketball. UNCP at home, where they've found success this season. 5-3 in the friendly confines of the English E. Jones Center. Here's Lester teeing it up from straight away, and UNCP finding success early from distance. 3 of 10 from beyond the arc.
Good job by Lester in taking that shot. She knew that she could do it.
5 points for Shania Lester. Pierce, as the double comes, and she walked with it. Horn using the Heath screen. Too strong rebound to Ivana Boyd. Boyd very athletic. Not going to take many three-pointers, but very active in the boards, passing lanes. She can get to the rack. Here's Frame. Up top, Kira Crane, left wing triple. Into the arms of Melanie Horn. No Tori Pierce again. She hasn't played since January 11th. She is on the bench, but not in uniform. Been averaging 10 points a game, so one of the major pieces for head coach Mo Smith not active. Eight to shoot. Purnell goes to work. Out to Smith, their fellow freshman. Courtney Smith, foot of the line, long two. Tips off the rebound and secured by Mathis. Braves have controlled for much of this first half. Inside, Pierce off the mark, and Isaiah, UNCP doing a much better job defensively on her.
Oh, yes, making sure that she doesn't get any easy points, locking down on her. They know that she could get hot real quick.
Purnell spins in the lane and walked with it. Was some contact, but it's a turnover instead. Head to the media timeout here in the second, and when we get back, we'll have a very special guest join us here on the UNCP Sports Network. So don't go anywhere. This is Braves women's basketball right here on the UNCP Sports Network.
When a hospital invests in technology, skilled hands and keen eyes have new tools for diagnosing disease and making people better. At Scotland, we were the first in the region to provide 3D mammograms and robotic joint surgery, and the only hospital in the region to collaborate with Duke Health to offer both radiation and medical oncology for cancer patients. At Scotland, we invest in the newest technology for one simple reason: to deliver you closer care that's better by far.
It's officially the holidays, and you've got a house full of unstable football fans who won't take hungry for an answer. So drop a big bow box on your pigskin powwow, because whether you need an 8, 12, or 20 piece with biscuits, fixins, and tea, nothing helps swallow tears of defeat like swallowing a bunch of fried chicken first. Now when it comes to defending your lucky recliner, that's all you.
Hey Braves fans, just a quick update here as we make our way towards halftime. Obviously UNCP clinging to a 6-point lead over Flagler. We will be joined at halftime by a very special guest, assistant coach of the UNCP basketball teams here, Donald Bohannon, who will give us a little bit of a halftime update, his thoughts on the first 20 minutes of action and what it was like inside the locker room through the first half of this game. Now, back to the action between the Braves and the Saints.
Breast cancer survivors night and kind of spreading the awareness of breast cancer and really doing a good job of making sure that we're providing Zeta with their philanthropy of taking on breast cancer as well. That initiative and that platform to make an impact within collegiate athletics, especially with Kay Yao at NC State, our athletic director being from NC State. I think Pink Knight's really grown really since Dick Christie got here, and we're really glad it has. As you can tell, women's basketball's really bought into it with the pink jerseys. Those came out, I think, last year, and then wearing them again this year. So definitely special to have this team and our teams really buy into it.
Now, you mentioned to me before we got on the air, as the ball turned over, it'll be Braves basketball. This has been something that's been in existence here at UNCP since you were a student, but it's really grown the last few years. In what ways have you seen this grow?
I think it went from just being think pink and we pray that everybody wears pink to now we actually have the rally towels in the student section that are provided by Scotland Healthcare, co-branded rally towels that really liven up the stands, and our teams again buying into it. Women's basketball wearing the pink jerseys, some of the promos that we're doing as far as bringing in Scotland Healthcare, actual survivors from the Pembroke and Robinson County area to be present at the games, recognize them, include them with starting lineups and things like that. Special elements that really take it beyond just a theme, but really make it a full encompassing experience for the survivors, for the fans that may know somebody that's a survivor currently being impacted, and then for our corporate partner with Scotland Healthcare as well.
You mentioned some of the partnerships, both Scotland Healthcare and Zeta Tau Alpha, some of the local partnerships that you have to put this event on. What's it like to develop those relationships, and how did all this kind of come together with them involved?
Zeta, we found out it was their philanthropic mission to really make a difference with breast cancer. Our Zeta on campus is very active. All of our Greek life organizations are very active. You'll see another fraternity here on campus this evening really leading our student section. So we really want to help them in their platform. We want to help them make a difference. We've helped a couple other ones with baseball and softball games with autism awareness and things like that. But we really want to give them that. And then with Scotland Healthcare being a partner, I mean, they have the resources. We want our fan base, we want our students and anybody going through it to know they're not alone going through this process, and that we have a great institution in Scotland Healthcare right down the road that can assist them and helps our athletes on a daily basis. So this is just an opportunity to really allow them that platform and show them, that this is kind of a special thing.
Two teams kind of going back and forth. Under 2 minutes to go, UNCP still a 6-point lead over Flagler. Why do you feel that it's so important that we have an event like this every year?
We pride ourselves on providing a championship experience. And we want our fans to know that they are leaving feeling like champions, and especially those breast cancer survivors and their support system. The families that have been through so much, anybody that's dealt with cancer. But this evening specifically with breast cancer, we want them to feel like champions when they leave here, regardless of what our teams do on the court. And that's what makes it so special, John, is having that ability to make them feel like they're champions when they leave here. Give them the ability to be recognized for the fight that they went through, the fight that their families went through. Wear the pink, wear it proudly, see the students supporting them wearing pink, see Scotland Healthcare that helped them get through that process. Some of the doctors and some of the nurses are here in attendance as well, and make it a full community effort. And that's what makes it special. That's what makes it different than any other place that's doing a Think Pink night.
Jaden Langer at the charity stripe, the freshman, missed badly in her first career free throw attempt, but just hit on the second. So in addition to Think Pink night, it's also National Girls and Women in Sports Days, in Sports Day, pardon me. And I know that UNCP has had a couple events going on and things to honor that event. I know last week there was a very special event with some of our student athletes partnering with some local youngsters.
Yeah, we really try and make a difference in our community. Robeson County is such a home body community. We want to make sure that UNC Pembroke is going out, putting a foot forward to go out into our community. We already do it with the Braves Buddies program, but we want to know and make sure that the young athletes here, the young youth participants, know that they have the platform and they have the resource here with different camps that we offer, and they can see college female student athletes that are excelling on the playing field, winning championships, and are putting in the work within the classroom and in their competitive arena to make a difference. And we want them to know they have the opportunity to go to college through their athleticism, but also through their academics. The whole theme this year for National Girls, Women's, and Sports Day is Leader Forward, and that's exactly what we're trying to do here at UNC Pembroke with our local youth participants and local community.
So a couple changes here as UNCP leads it by 5, 1:11 to go. The 5 on the floor for the Braves. It's Abram Purnell, McCain, Lester, and Tiara Williams. Again, talking with Jack Bull-Slavin here on the UNCP Sports Network. A big night here, National Women and Girls in Sports Day, and the Think Pink night, as well as Williams picks up her dribble, and Abram loses it. So a 3-on-2 fast break opportunity. Boyd inside, good look to Scout Frame, and she lays it in as we wind things down in this first half. Is there any other major event coming up that UNCP fans should know about?
I think coming up at halftime, something definitely to be aware of. Gina Clymore from the Carolina Hurricane Storm Squad, former Spirit Squad member, she's actually helping us recognize National Girls, Women's, and Sports Day. She's back, so that's pretty special. Alumni coming back that's in the professional arena. And obviously Neon Night's coming up for the Braves, take on USC Aiken, tied atop the leaderboard for the men's side. We definitely want everybody to come. We'll be handing out 500 foam LED glow sticks during the evening, so that's going to be a special one where any neon you have to the bank, and we're going to have a fun time that night.
Final possession as Boyd leaves it for Frame with 3 to get a shot off. Scout Frame, contact with a second to go, and Shania Lester is called for a personal. All right, Bull, we'll let you head down there. I know you have some things to tend to here at halftime, but thank you so much for joining us here in the broadcast.
Yeah, John, thanks for having me, and special thanks to Scotland Healthcare as well. We really appreciate them and all of our students, and keep on the fight.
All right, so Scout Frame now to the free throw line. She'll attempt a pair of shots with a second to go. And she splits on the pier. 1 second remaining. UNCP will have to heave it. Here's Smith from half court, puts it up and overshot it, nearly hit some of the Spirit Squad members as we head to halftime. It's 25-23 Braves. These two teams locked up in a good one. We'll be back with a halftime report in just a little bit, so stick with us right here on the UNCP Sports Network.
When you've got a house full of unstable football fans who won't take
over 30,000 visitors. We welcome you to visit our unique town and encourage you to read and learn more about Pembroke.
A nurse at Scotland Health is
a healer, touching patients' lives at every turn.
All right, so it's halftime here between UNCP and Flagler. John Gross now joined by Donald Bohannon, assistant coach of the UNCP basketball teams. Donald, first of all, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate you asking me to come on. I enjoy watching the game, so, got to come talk.
So, obviously, right now at halftime, a small lead over Flagler. This was the second game of the season against the Saints. The first one up by 5 at the half and ended up losing down in St. Augustine. So if you can go back and kind of remember what the game plan or approach was going into this one against a Flagler team that you guys had lost to just a few weeks earlier.
I think one of the big things, not just this game, but all year, was limiting turnovers. I think that is key, because we'll have some good moments where we're taking. You watch the game, you see how when we take care of the ball, we do well. When we don't, it's sometimes a little bit of a struggle. And so I think that was one of the big things, is just making sure we take care of the ball, because you can't score without the basketball.
All right, so you see the first half of play, again, up by a couple of points against Flagler. What were your thoughts on the first 20 minutes?
They had a little bit of size in the post, and so I think they sometimes got some easier buckets in the post, but they played hard, and I think I go back to scoring the ball is our big thing. Is we gotta have people that can score the ball. I know we have some shooters on the team, but we also got some shooters coming in next year, so I think that's going to be a big help in putting more points up.
Now, I'm not sure if you remember exactly what the discussion was at halftime at this one. I know you had a lot of basketball games under your belt this year working with both teams, but in general, can you just take us through what a typical halftime locker room, either speech or kind of breakdown of everything is?
A lot of times, Coach Haskins is always really positive locker room. He does touch on if we've not been doing well in something, taking care of the basketball, limiting turnovers. He's pretty positive about that. And I'm pretty sure, for this specific game, a halftime speech would have been, I think we had 12 turnovers at halftime or something this game. I know we had a lot going into the half, so I know that was part of the discussion was, hey, let's try and limit turnovers and do what we do, keep playing good defense and take care of the basketball and do what we do instead of trying to worry about so much what they do.
I should have never doubted you, but I'm very impressed by your memory here. You had 11 turnovers at halftime. So you were right. You were right in the wheelhouse. Very, very impressive, Donald. Now, do you remember what happens right out of the gates here in the second half? Because it was pretty fun to watch.
Do I remember what happened in the second half?
Yeah, first few minutes of the third quarter.
In my head, I remember. What happened to this game? I remember it was close, obviously, but
I can give you a hint if needed.
The third quarter is really good. I know we do well in the third quarter. I know we do really well in the third quarter, but I remember I was stressing down the stretch. I do remember that.
Third quarter, you started off on a 14-point run.
Oh, yeah, that was this game, wasn't it? Mm-hmm.
Yes, took a 16-point lead, 39-23. We won't go too in-depth about what happens after that because then it gets really, really exciting. But as a coach, how exciting is that to be able to go out there, you make your adjustments at halftime, and then boom, execution, you're up big?
It's nice when they execute and do what they're supposed to do, because that's the one thing I kind of harp on, like in my head at least, is, we're a very talented team when we do what we're supposed to do, but when we try to do too much, when they play within their roles, I think we do really well. And so it was good. This game is kind of a good spot to see that in the third quarter. Like, everybody does what they're good at, and we just kind of rolls.
And again, a very exciting finish down the stretch of this one. So I guess on the flip side, what's it like coaching a nail biter?
I honestly kind of like nail biters because it kind of keeps you, not that you're not always engaged, but if you're blowing someone out by 30, 40 points, it's not as easy to stay focused, and sometimes you let things slide. But in a nail biter, it's kind of like, hey, we got to do the little things right at all times. So I prefer the nail biters personally.
They're always fun to watch, that's for sure. But I'm sure that as a coach and as student athletes on your teams, certainly can be a little nerve-wracking down the stretch. So I know that you have a special guest there with you.
I do. It's my cat, little Snoops. Yeah, he's watching the game with me. He's not. He wants to run around right now. Okay, all right.
Is Snoops a big basketball fan?
He is. He is now. He doesn't have a choice. I make him watch with me.
Jen wants to know if Snoops has seen Space Jam.
He has. He's actually going to be in Space Jam 2.
Wow. So LeBron reached out to you.
He picked him up.
Okay. Well, Donalds, thank you so much. We'll get back to the action here, the second half. Enjoy it. I know the fact that you maybe don't have to be in the sideline right now is a little bit more relieving, but I'm sure you miss coaching at least to some degree right now.
Yeah, it was cool to have like a week off, and now that we're in, I don't know, what is this, week 4? Everything's kind of running together. It's I'm ready to kind of get back to, I don't want to say get back to normal, but definitely get back to doing, what I do and what we do as a program. I definitely, I miss everybody. I miss being in the office, and I miss like seeing everybody day in and day out, not just basketball, but like you guys too. So looking forward to getting back.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for joining us, and enjoy the second half here.
Hey, appreciate it, man. You have a good one.
You as well. Stay safe, Donald.
Bye.
Here on the UNCP Sports Network, John Gross alongside Isaiah Diaz. Isaiah, Nehemiah Pierce was an absolute force to be reckoned with in that first quarter, but the second quarter was a different story as the break able to slow it down.
Yeah, also you could tell that the opposing team was watching her slowly get more and more on fire. They took some defensive tactics into their own hands, making sure that she doesn't do the same thing again.
All right, you look at the turnover numbers, separated by just one turnover. There were still a lot of turnovers for UNCP in the first quarter. We talked about that as a key, but did a better job in the second quarter hanging on to the basketball.
Yeah, they made sure to keep their composure, making sure that they're not making any silly mistakes turning over the ball. This was towards the second quarter. The first quarter was a little iffy, but they seemed to handle themselves towards this first half.
Our players to watch that we talked about pregame. Melanie Horn, she's been a little bit quiet for the Braves, but some of her other teammates have stepped up and played well.
Yeah, it's good to see the entire team just holding their own, making sure that when one player can't step up, the other one is able to capitalize. So it's just a sign of good teammates.
All right, we are just under 2 minutes away from getting things started here in the second half of action. UNCP a 25-23 edge over Flagler. Should be a good one for the final 20 minutes. We'll be back in a minute. This is Braves women's basketball right here on the UNCP Sports Network.
It's officially the holidays, and you've got a house full of unstable football fans who won't take hungry for an answer. So drop a big bow box on your pigskin powwow, because whether you need an 8, 12, or 20 piece with biscuits, fixins, and tea, nothing helps swallow tears of defeat like swallowing a bunch of fried chicken first. Now, when it comes to defending your lucky recliner, that's all you. Bojangles, it's bow time. When you've got a house full of unstable football fans who won't take hungry for an answer, drop a big bow box on it. Whether you need an 8, 12, or 20 piece with biscuits, fixins, and tea, at least they'll gnash their teeth on something delicious. It's bow time.
Time to get things started back up here at the bank. Think Pink Night, National Girls and Women in Sports Day. John Gross alongside Isaiah Diaz. Relatively low scoring first half of action as UNCP holds on to a 25-23 lead. Midway through this one, teams will switch sides. It'll be Saints basketball, the second meeting between UNC Pembroke and Flagler this season. The Braves led by 5 in that first one at the midway point. And ended up losing 66-58. Jazzy Mathis double dribbles with it. #11 turnover of the game. Now both sides have 11 turnovers. Purnell. Up top, Courtney Smith. Braves have had to take a lot of shots late in possessions as Farmer gets things started in the second half with a long two-pointer.
Good job capitalizing off of that turnover.
UNCP now +8 in points off turnovers. Boyd slips inside, off to frame. Mathis, right wing 3, lips off. Farmer the board. Flagler 0 for 9 from distance as Purnell sidesteps inside, absorbs the contact. Farmer the follow and the finish. Four points out of the gate here in the third quarter for UNCP.
Making sure they start off the game real fast.
Stacy Miller checks in as Ivana Boyd will head to the sideline. Actually, will get checked on. She is currently holding her mouth. Might have some blood. And if you have any blood, you have to come off the floor. Mathis, kick out, frame, left open, bank from the corner. No, but a loose ball foul called on Nemaya Pierce. That is the first of this third quarter. And the first of the game, second of the game for Pierce. Ball tipped around, back out to Farmer. There's Smith, right wing triple, cash money, Courtney Smith. Largest lead of the game for the Braves. Long triple on the way, bounces out from Crane. Rebound for the Braves, numbers. Outlet pass, nearly knocked over Bravehulk.
His whole life flashed before his eyes.
Yeah, never want to see a mascot in a situation like that.
Fearing for his life.
Fierce look to establish herself inside. Instead, another three-point clanks off. 0 for 12 now from distance are the Saints. As Purnell sets the offense. UNCP content with the way this game is going. They are a defensive-minded side. Second in the conference in points allowed per game at just 61. Purnell inside, she'll shoot 2. That's the third on Stacy Miller. In just 7 minutes of action. And Purnell hits in the free throw, and she now has 3 points in 18 minutes. Senior Purnell had a rough going against Clayton State as she knocks them both down. 91% from the stripe this season. Only a freshman, but so much potential there as she has taken over the point guard reins with the injury to T. Graham.
Yeah, making the most out of all the minutes that she gets while starting. I'm pretty sure that she wants to help out her team as best as she can.
Nifty move inside, falls just short from Crane, and it's outletted to Purnell. Purnell speeds ahead, inside with the left and one. Turning to the El Senior Purnell show these last couple of possessions. T.R. Williams comes in for Shania Lester. Now 7 points for Purnell. Flagler has not scored in this third quarter. UNCP on a 12-0 run. They now lead by a game-high 14. Mathis stripped away by Williams. Smith races ahead of the pack. Courtney Smith finger rolls it home. And a timeout taken by Mo Smith. 16-point lead for the Braves, an absolute explosion out of the gates of this third quarter, and John Haskins' squad looking good here to start off the second half. We'll be back after this break on the UNCP Sports Network.
The town of Pembroke, incorporated in 1895, is a proud community rich in heritage. Pembroke is a quaint but growing town regarded as the social, political, cultural, and commercial center for the Lumbee tribe, the largest American Indian tribe east of the Mississippi River with over 58,000 members. The town hosts a variety of events during the year, none larger than Lumbee Homecoming, which annually brings in over 30,000 visitors. We welcome you to visit our unique town and encourage you to read and learn more about Pembroke.
A 14-point run for UNCP in the first 4 minutes and 4 seconds of this third quarter, and this is the exact opposite of what we saw last game from the Braves. A much better start of the second half.
Yes, absolutely. They're making sure that they keep the momentum in their hands, making sure Flagler doesn't take the ball away from them.
And there's the first made three-point attempt. It's courtesy of Jazzy Mathis. Flagler now 1 of 13 from distance. UNCP gets it across with a second to spare, and now sets up in the half court. Zone look defensively for Flagler. This is what they played for pretty much the entire second half of the first meeting between these two teams, and it completely shut down the UNCP offense. McManus, cross-court feed as the shot clock expires. And Williams couldn't get it off in time.
Another shot clock violation. I mean, the passing is really good. Still, though, they have to make sure that they get the ball off before time goes out.
Here at Crane out, in comes Monique Bryant. Her first game action. Bryant hasn't scored in the last 2 games. She has seen her playing time drop recently. Has played just 4 minutes combined over the last 2 outings. Boyd nearly walked with it. Here's Mathis, fresh off of her 3-point make. Bryant, step back, free throw line, off back rim, and into the arms of Tiara Williams. McManus uses the Ebron screen. To the corner, Farmer, a rare 3-point attempt, off the mark, but Ebron there, but uncontested finish. Seven points for Jill Ebron. And Isaiah, UNCP is dominating the rebounding margin as Boyd was tying her shoes mid-play. Braves plus 12 in the rebounding department tonight.
Yeah, it's the awareness, making sure they know where the ball is, taking advantage of the sleeping opponents right there.
And we'll have a timeout on the floor here. Braves up by 15 out of it after another Flagler turnover. We'll take a quick break on the UNCP Sports Network.
A nurse at Scotland Health is
a healer, touching patients' lives at every turn.
An ally, working as a trusted teammate with the best doctors. A blower of bubbles, part child whisperer, part kid at heart.
A winner, recognizing excellence through Daisy Awards.
And of course, a caring friend. Scotland Health nurses are many things to many people. But to us, they're simply better by far.
When a hospital invests in technology, skilled hands and keen eyes have new tools for diagnosing disease and making people better. At Scotland, we were the first in the region to provide 3D mammograms and robotic joint surgery, and the only hospital in the region to collaborate with Duke Health to offer both radiation and medical oncology for cancer patients. At Scotland, we invest in the newest technology for one simple reason: to deliver you closer care that's better by far.
It's been a fun second half if you're a Braves fan, but now looking to face everything that Flagler can throw at them, including a 2-2-1 full court press here as they extend the defense, trying to force some turnovers. Braves get it across with 2 seconds to spare. Williams, Euro step, and it rolls off. And Ivana Boyd looks to orchestrate the offense. Eaves away from the screen. Good look inside and pierced, an easy finish.
Caught the defense sleeping right there, making sure they get that quick 2 points.
UNCP gets it across. Braves looking to get back in the win column after a tough loss at Clayton State over the weekend. Won 3 of their last 5, and Bryant tips it out of bounds, so stay with UNCP. 12 seconds to get a shot off. This is the second meeting of the season between UNCP and Flagler, with the Braves dropping the first decision, 66-58, down in St. Augustine, which, by the way, is a beautiful city. I don't know if you ever had the chance to go down there, but a beautiful city, a beautiful campus down in St. Augustine.
Oh, I would always love to travel. It would be a nice place to visit, I'm sure.
Melanie Hornell, senior Purnell, in for the Braves. Tiara Williams and Anaya McManus head to the sideline. Purnell trying to use the screen against this zone look defensively up top. High post Ebron, she's dangerous from that position, and Jill Ebron her third straight game with at least 9 points. Pierce backs her way in up to Bryant. Straight away, dribble. Mathis clanked it long. And Bryant has the second chance. Rebound. Bounce pass. Pierce ricochets off her fingertips. And it'll head down to UNC Pembroke. A 15-point lead. Are you surprised this game has kind of progressed the way that it has?
Honestly, with the way everything has been going out, seeing both teams play, it's been kind of unsurprising, honestly. I admire the UNCP offense and defense just going as hard as they're going, making sure that they're not losing their composure.
Baseline floater. Unsuccessful, but McCain is there for the follow, and she has it stripped away. Outletted to Boyd. Looks to get something going in transition, and falls through for the second made three by Flagler. It's Jazzy Mathis, who now is in double figures. And Mathis got to the passing lane. And Alcenia Purnell is slow to get up at midcourt. And she'll walk towards UNCP's trainer, Alyssa Price. So Purnell out, and McManus in. Lester, big crossover out to Ebron. Inside McCain. 5 to shoot for the Braves. For deep three, halfway home, and it's rebounded by Mathis. Mathis hustles ahead. Frame out to Mathis. And Durano, a screen set for Boyd, and it's an offensive foul, an illegal screen for Nemaya Pierce. And that is her fourth foul. One more and she's done.
You can tell that she's getting frustrated.
Has just 2 points in the second half after posting a team-high 9 in the first. McCain able to get rid of it. And CP letting some clock run here into the end of the third. Flare screen, Ebron. Whipped around the perimeter, Lester. Entering feed, tipped to McCain. McCain off balance runner. Can't connect, rebound for Pierce. And now a 7-8 second difference between shot and game clock. Boyd hesitates, pulls up inside the 15-foot line. And it's secured by the Braves, then turned right back over. Then into the hands of Lester. And Shania Lester wisely will pull things out. Final 10 seconds of this third quarter. UNCP has been dominant here in the third. Now looking to put the cherry on top as Ebron attacks, hoists. And shot falls through, but it's after the buzzer sounded. So that'll do it for the third quarter. UNCP outscores Flagler 18-8 in the third frame as we head to the final 10 minutes of action. The Braves up by 12. This is UNCP women's basketball right here on UNCP and Sports Network.
It's officially the holidays, and you've got a house full of unstable football fans who won't take hungry for an answer. So drop a big bow box on your pigskin powwow, because whether you need an 8, 12, or 20 piece with biscuits, fixins, and tea, nothing helps swallow tears of defeat like swallowing a bunch of fried chicken first. Now when it comes to defending your lucky recliner, that's all you. Bojangles, it's bow time. When you've got a house full of unstable football fans who won't take hungry for an answer, drop a big bow box on it. Whether you need an 8, 12, or 20 piece with biscuits, fixins, and tea, at least they'll gnash their teeth on something delicious. It's bow time.
Start of the fourth quarter here from Lumbee Guarantee Bank Court, the first game of tonight's doubleheader between UNCP and Flagler. And again, a clock issue. Only 2 seconds came off the shot clock, but 5 seconds off the game clock, and that doesn't make much sense.
No, it does not. They've had this issue a couple times in this game. I don't know what's going on.
All right, there we go. So back to the action. The Braves coming off of an 18-8 quarter against Flagler as Farmer turns and hits, and she has now scored the first points in 3 quarters tonight.
She's a big contribution to the lead right now.
Has 8 points, 4 or 5 for the fields, and count the basket for Wade, who just checked in for the first time all game. Raven Wade has scored double figures in 6 straight outings. And finally, the 5'9" senior finds the court and instantly makes an impact.
This is a good way to get your team back in the game, not playing after so long, just to come in and make 3 points. That's a great start.
Yeah, the leading scorer on this Flagler team. Unsure why Coach Smith kept her out until the 4th. Well, senior Purnell back onto the floor. She had come out near the end of the 3rd quarter, a little bit slow to get up off the court. Lester splits through a double, up and out, tipped around, rebounded by Raven Wade. Wade stops, out, Mathis pops, front rim, backboard, rebound by Purnell. Puts on the Jets, and now we'll pull it out. As we've seen UNCP really slow things down once they've gotten this double-digit lead.
Yeah, it's good to take the game into their own hands, make sure Flagler doesn't get any momentum. Just play your own ball game.
Good look inside to Smith, who couldn't handle it. And it's corralled by Boyd. 2-on-1. Boyd with the left, able to re-grip it, and she finger rolls it home. Kind of lost it for a couple of seconds on that run to the basket. And now it's back down to single digits. Purnell crosses over through a double, whistle. And we'll see if they'll give her 2 shots or if the foul is on the floor. And it is 2 shots, a personal on Monique Bryant. That's her first personal, first team foul of this final quarter. Out goes Diamond Fendrick. And Courtney Smith. Aaliyah Farmer and Tiara Williams on for UNCP as Purnell now has 8 points, making her 4th free throw of the night. It's on the second. You can see those pink rally towels in the UNCP student section in the last look. We expect things to fill up here as the night progresses. We think pink night. Wade, swatted by Horn. It'll stay with the Saints, but good help defense there by Mel. Boyd, baseline, drive and kick. Bryant contested 2, and Isaiah don't look now, but Flagler playing much better here in the 4th, trying to put something together.
Yeah, you can tell that they're scrambling, trying to find something here. Now they shorten the lead to single digits. We'll see what the UNCP team has to say about that.
Off the screen, Lester lost it. Williams into Farmer. And a personal called on Raven Wade. That's her first. Team second of the 4th quarter. As Courtney Smith replaces Shania Lester. foul reset the shot clock to 20 seconds. So a little more clock to burn. As Purnell's pass is intercepted by Bryant to 1-3. Bryant weaves it outside. Frame, baseline, stripped by Smith as bodies fly. Wade, cross court. Mathis gets it back. Missed everything, but Wade is there for the weak side rebound, then lost it out of bounds. UNCP has not converted a field goal in the last 3 minutes of game time. They get it across with a second to spare. Three zone look. Horn, triple. Rebound to Wade. Into the corner for Bryant. Contested two-pointer. Loose ball, weak side. And tipped out, last touch by Courtney Smith, so it'll stay with Flagler. 20 seconds to shoot. Mathis jumper, too much behind it. Scout frame and offensive rebounds. And the Braves have struggled a bit to secure missed shots in this fourth quarter. Boyd, left elbow jumper, 7-point ball game. Flagler goes 2-2-1 to the three-quarters court. Maya Pierce heads to the scorers table. Deja McCain and Jill Ebron there as well for the Braves. High post to Farmer. Back to Horn, who has just 2 points and 1 of 5 shooting. Here's Purnell's three. Well off. Farmer tracks it down and is shoved underneath. That's the third team foul in Flagler in this fourth quarter. And that'll bring the subs in. So McCain, Lester, Ebron, Williams, Horn, and Farmer to the sideline as Scout Frame comes off for Maya Pierce. And we will head to the media timeout here. 5:21 to go, fourth quarter. We have a good one. Flagler stringing together a little bit of a run. 7-point lead for the Braves. Back after this.
The town of Pembroke, incorporated in 1895, is a proud community rich in heritage. Pembroke is a quaint but growing town regarded as the social, political, cultural, and commercial center for the Lumbee tribe, the largest American Indian tribe east of the Mississippi River with over 58,000 members. The town hosts a variety of events during the year, none larger than Lumbee Homecoming, which annually brings in over 30,000 visitors. We welcome you to visit our unique town and encourage you to read and learn more about Pembroke.
A nurse at Scotland Health is
a healer, touching patients' lives at every turn.
An ally, working as a trusted teammate with the best doctors. A blower of bubbles, part child whisperer, part kid at heart.
A winner, recognizing excellence through Daisy Awards.
And of course, a caring friend. Scotland Health nurses are many things to many people. But to us, they're simply better by far.
.5:21 to go in the fourth quarter. It's Braves basketball. Out of the media timeout, and they'll chuck it into Alcenia Purnell, the freshman, looking to lead the way. And her and her teammates try to hold on as it slips through the hands of Courtney Smith, and it'll be Flagler basketball. But Isaiah, the Saints doing just enough to make this a ball game.
Yeah, you could tell that there was a new fire as soon as they subbed out their players. You could tell that there was a new sense of urgency. Now the Braves are just trying to figure out what they can do about this.
And Raven Wade spinning inside, her second and one opportunity. She didn't play a second in the first three quarters and Mo Smith brings her in, and she's made an instant impact as expected. First personal on Jill Ebron, who checks out for Aaliyah Farmer. That's the second team foul on the Braves in the fourth quarter. Wade has 5 points as she breaks in the free throw, rebounded by Deja McCain. And active hands defensively, taken away by Boyd. Inside to Wade, the lay-in is good. 3-point ball game. An 8-0 run over the last 3 minutes, and it's nearly turned over again. Farmer, kick out, Smith, big triple. Bounces out, rebounded to Jazzy Mathis. And a big time possession here for Flagler. A chance to tie as Wade again goes to her spin move, up, under, and in. Flagler has not led this entire game. And now they trail it by just 1. The Braves led by as many as 16 about midway through the third quarter. Eight to shoot for the Braves. They need a bucket. Farmer, can she be the one? No. And it's rebounded by who else but Wade. Boyd swatted inside, and she's fouled by Farmer. And Isaiah, somehow, someway, Flagler now has a chance to take the lead in this one.
Yeah, it was all because of Raven Wade right there. Just as soon as she came in, she was a force to be reckoned with, and she hasn't shown any signs of stopping.
And about as fresh legs as you can possibly have, given the fact that she didn't play in the first 3 quarters.
Really interesting to watch, really. Just making the most out of the points, out of the minutes that she's getting.
Ivana Boyd, a 69% free throw shooter. Can't connect in the foul shot. Boyd has 6 points tonight, 3 of 5 for the fields. Free throw to tie, rims out. And it's tracked down by Wade, spinning inside, off glass, and it's tipped underneath. It'll be Braves basketball. Double comes on Purnell. The Braves look to break this full court trap defense from Flagler. UNCP hasn't scored in nearly 5 minutes. Horn way downtown, rims out, and a foul underneath. It goes against Aaliyah Farmer. Nothing going the Braves' way in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, you could tell there's a bit of confusion going on. They're just trying to get that momentum back, but so far Flagler has had the game in their hands.
Flagler, chance for their first lead of the game. It's Pierce, and the Saints lead it. A 12-0 run over the last 4 minutes, 40 seconds puts Flagler in front. Now the Braves playing from behind. Lester penetrates. She will shoot 2. That's the second personal on Monique Bryant, the 4th. And 14 fouls for both squads with 2.5 to go. Both teams will be shooting free throws the next foul, and Lester ties things up. All right, so 2.5 to go. UNCP back up by 1. How do you approach this final 2.5 if you're John Haskins and the Braves?
You got to make sure to just play lockdown defense. Make sure that you know where the ball is going. And, oh, for goodness sake, make sure you get the rebound. No second chance points at all.
Boyd just inside the arc. And there's a rebound for Lester. Numbers for the Braves. Good feed to Horn in transition. Lays it through. 3-point lead for the Braves after Flagler took their first lead today. Mathis to tie, bingo! 51-51 with 1:38 to go and a timeout taken. This has been a comeback of epic proportions, Isaiah. What a difference not only a quarter makes, but one player makes with Raven Wade checking it.
Yes, it's actually very astounding to watch. Very exciting to see her bring her team all the way back to a tie game with 1:38 left in the quarter.
All right, you're John Haskins here. Where are you going to win this big-time possession?
You could always go Melanie Horn, but honestly, I would just say anybody who's open, who's able to make the shot in these crucial moments. Honestly, anybody that seemed to have the hot hand recently is my go-to.
51-51. 4 team fouls for both squads. This is a game that UNCP led by 16 about midway through in the third quarter. They entered this quarter up by double digits, but a ferocious 12-0 run put Flagler in front. And now we're locked up at 51. The Braves have won 3 of their last 5, playing some of their best basketball this season. 2 teams jockeying for position in the conference standings, separated by a game. Braves get it across. They're going to retake the lead against this 2-3 zone. They go to Horn. Farmer taken away by Bryant. And Flagler can take the lead, just over a minute remaining. Raven Wade with the basketball. She has been the spark plug. The leading scorer didn't play the first 3 quarters as she gets it back, under 10 to shoot. Wade, double teamed, kick out. And they'll say it was deflected by UNCP. So we'll stay with Flagler, 7 seconds remaining. And Aya McManus out, Dulcinea Purnell in. UNCP 3 timeouts left, 2 timeouts for the visiting Saints. Mathis has to get something up. Boyd heaving as the shot clock expires, and it didn't hit rim, so a violation, and it'll be Braves basketball, a big defensive stand, Isaiah.
Yeah, very crucial. Making sure that they don't get those easy points.
And a timeout taken by John Haskins with 43.4 seconds to go. This has been a wild ball game. UNCP led at halftime, then exploded in the third quarter. They were plus 10 in the third. And now Flagler is plus 12 here in the fourth to tie things up at 51-51. You kind of expected this to be a low-scoring game, just giving these 2 teams stats entering today. But the way that it's happened through 3 quarters, the Braves offense looked pretty good, and they really slowed down in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, you could tell that things weren't the same going into the fourth quarter with the sudden surge in turnovers and silly mistakes on offense. And with Flagler capitalizing on those mistakes, it's been a very different ball game towards the end of this game.
So out of the timeout, both teams with 14 fouls, both sides with 2 timeouts remaining. It's Lester inbound with Purnell, Farmer, McCain, and Horn on the floor with her. 12-second difference shot and game clock. Lester off to Farmer, free throw line jumper, sits on the rim and falls through. Aaliyah Farmer into double figures on her biggest shot of the night. And Isaiah, it comes down to defense here for the Braves.
Yes, it does. Just making sure that you lock down.
So Flagler, 29.3 seconds remaining. Saints have been led in this fourth quarter by Raven Wade for 9 points. In her lone quarter of action, 4 of 6 for the field, has 4 rebounds as well. The timeout advances the ball. There's 1 timeout remaining for Mo Smith and the Saints. 2 for the Braves. Again, 14 fouls. The same 5 of the floor for UNCP. As Boyd will inbound to Bryant. Here's Wade, spinning inside, good finish in the lane, and it's rebounded by Farmer. And Shania Lester is fouled. They're going to call that a flagrant. That'll be shots in the basketball for Shania Lester. You have to make a play in the basketball, and they didn't do that right there.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're looking for as a UNCP fan.
Lester hits the first. Now a chance to make this a 2-possession game, and it'll be Braves basketball. After the flagrant foul is called, cool, calm, and collected, Shania Lester. Do you foul right away here or try to go for a steal?
I would say just try and go for the steal. In turn, you may want to foul as well.
And Boyd fouls Purnell. 19 seconds remaining. Senior Purnell to the free throw line.